It's good too because it's always a learn. You always it's not always a loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There are some people that like it's not good talking about, even that you have something to say, you understand that it's not a good place to talk, you know. I think that is
Hmm.
important that people are showing that they, you know, they want to talk about it. So let's start. I think that is the first time that I'm seeing you and I am here on TNT.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. In fact, I was checking the others facilitators and teachers that I have never had a class before to, just to try a different environment and to see how it works. So that's why I decided to choose this time. It's not the best time for me as I'm in Canada, so here it's sooner and it's not the sun didn't show up yet and it's really soon, but yeah, let's see.
that's nice, a good strategy. I think that I need to start doing this too. I don't have time like during the day, but it's
Hmm.
good to know everyone that is here. So can you start introducing yourself, please?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm 30 years old. I'm, of course, I'm from Brazil. I was born in the countryside of Maranhão. So my hometown is Santa Inês, but I've been living in different cities and in Brazil before Canada. And I used to live in Curitiba as well. I spent a lot of time in Ceará as well. It's a really nice place that I love to to live for a while. Uh, I lived in Tianguá, which is a city in the top of a hill with a great weather. It's not hot. It's not that hot. So you are invited to come. They have great waterfalls as well. So I'm married. I have no kids, and I work with media. I'm a media specialist, so I can handle photography and videography and everything related to advertisement content.
Oh, that's really nice. So you are living in Canada right now, or you live in Canada?
No, I live in Canada
Oh,
currently.
that's really nice. Which time is there right now?
No, it's 7. It's just 1 hour sooner here, but for us, in this time of in this period of the year, the sun just show up like in a few minutes from now. So you feel like you are waking up too soon, because it's
Yeah,
not. Mhm.
yeah, and the sun is really good to start the day. I just like starting my day when the sun comes up. In Brazil, it happens a lot. So let's start with the first question. How do you define comparison? And do you think it can affect our sense of self-worthy?
Sorry, my voice is terrible today.
Okay.
Yes, it depends on. In fact, I think it depends on the perspective. I'll give you an example for this. For example, um, public tests. If you are doing a public test, it's really common in Brazil, for example, to try to achieve a position in the public service, right? So you do this test with lots of hundreds and thousands of people trying to do their best to achieve that goal. So, like going to the police or the government itself. And I used to have this experience to compare myself to the others' scores to see if I was good or not. And it's terrible. But in the other hand, if you compare yourself to successful people, but that can inspire you, so it can be positive. But when you compare yourself to someone that you don't know, it can be definitely negative. So it
Yeah,
depends on the perspective.
yeah, and I agree with you because I think that we always think that there has some things that are always bad. So we think that there has some feelings that will be always bad,
Mhm.
and like comparison is always something bad. But I think that comparison is something that we will always do. We don't, we always compare ourselves with others. It's
Mhm.
impossible not compare. But I think that the way that we deal with comparison, it's like the key. So I think that it can affect our sense of self-worth if we don't know how to deal with comparison. If we don't understand that it's something that is happening because we will compare, but we want to be better than other persons, or we want to be like everyone else. And I think that when we want to be better than other persons, when we compare, because it's okay if you want to be better than others, but when you compare yourself with others and you want to be better than this person, or you want to be like this person, I think that it has a lack of self-awareness, and you don't know what you want and what is important for yourself, because it's so easy for you to change what you want because of other person. So I think this way. And what are the dangers of comparison for you?
I think it has something to do about what you just said, and I would add that sometimes you forget to see yourself and your own accomplishments. So you can stop, and because of that, you can stop overwhelming challenges. And if you keep staring outside only, to something external, and you just forget to see the main change that you have to do, that it's inside of each of us. So it's the main danger, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you ever did something like this? Changing what you want for other person and challenging yourself?
Yeah, a lot. Sometimes we do that unconsciously, right? And I think that it mostly happens when you are young, because with time you get more knowledge about life, and you know how to deal better with some circumstances that had gives you um, you know bad responses, bad consequences. So sometimes you learn and sometimes you're not, but mostly I think yes. Yeah, I think everybody has this experience at
Yeah.
least once a time in life.
Yeah, and about you said that is we did this in consciousness. It's good because sometimes we think, okay, I know how to deal with that, but then we see ourselves doing something that we don't want just to be like others. Like it could be a simple thing, but sometimes we do this.
Yeah, you think you need to be honest with you sometimes,
Yeah,
but it's hard to do that
hard
because
talks with yourself, right?
yeah, you really need to stop. You really need to stop, close your eyes, and think about you and about what you really want. Because when you stay with your, I'm not trying to be too deep into that conversation, but when you are with your eyes opened, and you get confused because you are always seeing around in others, so you have to stop and look inside of you to see if it really what you want for I will give you a funny example. Sometimes I used to say that I like to dress uh, like someone or like some other culture because I like it. But I'm really sure that I know I do that consciously, not unconsciously. For example, I like Mexican culture. I like the music for them, and sometimes I like to wear like them. Sometimes I use this mustache, and I would say that I know who I am. I know who I am from, so I have this. I just it's part of me, to dress like that sometimes, but I know what I'm doing. But I know that at the same time there are people out there that they just don't think. They try to be others and try to be a pop star, rock star, or whatever, just because they think they are doing something good, but they are just something that doesn't belongs to their own personality.
Yeah, and about what you said, the way that you dress and etc. I think that is a lot of related with admiration, and sometimes we confuse
Hmm.
it with those two
Yeah,
things,
yeah, for sure.
comparing
Hmm.
and admiring. But I think that is a lot related with admiring too. But there has people
Mhm.
that do this. I had this time too when I was younger, and what you said about being younger and doing those kind of things. When I was younger, are always trying to fit in and being part of some group. So I always
Yeah,
changed the
exactly.
way that I dressed it and the way that I like it with people. So yeah, it happens. It happens a lot of times.
Yeah. It's
um,
totally okay. You like some kind of environment and you try to wear like that if you really feel good into that, right? So I just think that it's important to, as I said, to stop and think if it's really what you like, or if you're just being influenced by others.
yeah. And when I was younger, I remember that we had this. I think everyone wanted to be emo, like with this. I
Hmm.
don't know the name of this in
I'm
English.
still emo, by the way. I
It's
never,
okay, you feel good at that.
you know,
But I
yeah,
didn't feel good with that. Like I didn't like the
I
music.
understand.
I always listen
Yeah.
to music. And now I have a total different taste for music and for all those things. So I
Hmm.
just tried to fit in, but I didn't enjoy it this time.
I understand. Yeah, totally.
So question number 3. What is jealousy for you and what are the moments you usually feel it?
Let me think. Uh, Jealously, I think it's like invasion, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. I think jealously is more about what you see. Uh, Let me think. I'm trying to not be too much specific on that question because depends on your point of view. You always give to others your beliefs, right? So I try to respect others' opinion as well. Um, But I'd rather not talk about the moments I usually feel jealous because it's too personal. But
It's
jealousy
okay.
for me, yeah, but jealousy in general for me is more about what you see than what you really know about it, right? Because everyone has struggles in life, everybody has
Yeah.
something that they're fighting. It may be visible or but may not be. But if you take some time uh, to
Just a correction.
focus.
I just saw that jealousy is a lot related with ciúme and envy
Mm,
is inveja. Yeah, we are going to talk about
okay.
it, but
Anyway, let's give the let me just finish my
okay.
idea and then I can think about. But thank you. Yeah, but if you take some time to focus on you more than the others, I bet you can win those challenges and really start accomplishing great things. I think that is. So jealously is what?
Ciúme. Yeah. I did a correction for myself too because I was
Mm-hmm.
understanding these two words.
Okay. Okay. No problem. What about
Mm,
you?
yeah. Uh I think the jealousy is a lot of related when you are like we have a fear of losing someone or something. When you are a kid
Mm-hmm.
and someone start playing with your toys and you feel jealous about your toys. I think that is something like this. And I think that I usually feel it is not specific situations, but I think it's a lot of related with myself when I am feeling insecure. And I think that I will lose someone or I will lose something. I feel jealousy, but I always try talk with myself and say, Lara, do you really want to feel it? This is like something that it's important to pay attention on because I don't think that jealousy is a bad feeling. I think that is important. We don't have bad feelings and good feelings. All the feelings are important. And I think that something is that the way that we react with those feelings. So if I am
Mm-hmm.
jealousy, I always try to talk with myself. But if I react with this, like talking with other person, or we see some people that like fight because of this, I don't think that is something that I like doing. I am not this kind of person. I always try to see myself and understand why I am feeling this. So
Yeah, totally. I think it's human nature, right?
yeah,
Feeling have this feeling is normal, but the um, the amount of energy you put on that feelings, that it's what makes the difference, right? Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, the amount of energy that you put on that. Because I think it's a really good thing that you said, because sometimes we don't put energy on good feelings, on feelings that we feel good feeling,
Yeah.
but we put energy on something that make us feel bad. So when you feel that jealousy, we focus a lot on jealousy instead of focus, I don't know, in
Yeah,
the
that's interesting. You can see that on social media a lot because, for
Mhm.
example, sometimes people rather stay away from social media for a while when it's making them to feel bad. For example, I'm spending too much time on social media and arguing with people, especially on the elections, for example. So people rather to stay away from that, but I don't think it's the wisely way to do that, because if you come back later after elections or after whatever, if you stay using and following and interacting with the same content as always, uh, that nothing is going to happen, right? So I
Yeah.
believe that, for example, Instagram, they has this their own way to set up and to show up things to you, and it all depends on how much do you interact with the content. So if
Mhm.
you interact more with good things that can makes you feel better, that can makes you a good person, obviously you have more content like that. But it's not what happens. Most people just they prefer to stay angry and talking and giving their opinions on others, forcing their opinions on others. And what Instagram will understand, that they like that content. So
Yeah,
that's why. So you can use that in a good way, So,
yeah, I totally agree with you. And also I think that what you say about like people who try and stay away and then, coming back for the same thing. It's something that happened with me. There has some moments that I spent a lot of time on Instagram and then I
mhm,
decided to spend some days off. And then when I came back, I just saw the same things and tried to be updated in
mhm.
the 2 days that I was not, I didn't see new things. But I
Which
think
is
that's
good. Actually, people has their I'm sorry for breaking the flow, but I think it's okay to stay away from social
yeah,
media, but it's smarter, it's why it's better if you come back and try to do different things. That's just
yeah.
what it.
And I think that we can learn a lot with those things. For example, there has a lot of things that don't like TikTok. But I think
Mm-hmm.
that TikTok has a lot of good content. If you want to see, I work with IT, for example, and I try to see things about programming so I can learn while I am on TikTok. So I think that we can use social media for good things too, if we just focus on the right thing. And also, I think that if you are having a problem with spending a lot of time on social media, you can try to, instead of like I want to, because you start feeling anxious if you stay away from social media but you don't do nothing to focus on your thing too. It's kind of a kid, if you are I don't know how to say this, like se você tá tirando alguma coisa de uma criança, you need
Mm-hmm.
to put their attention in other thing, I always try to do this,
Switch. Yeah,
focus
you
my
have.
attention, yeah, switch my attention to other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, question number 4. How do you define resentment and how do you tend to react when you're feeling it?
Uh, is number 4.
Yeah.
How do you define resentment? As I said, I think it's also a natural feeling when you feel betrayed, or when you've been treated treated unfairly, right? Sometimes sometimes I just let it go when I believe it doesn't going to affect my daily life, like in social media, as we were saying, especially for someone you don't know, if you are discussing with someone and the conversation didn't goes well. So I just let it go. But when it really matters, I try to figure out,
Yeah.
because I think it's important, and especially if you are talking to someone that it's important to you, like family, or it depends on on the person or the family as well, because people are different. People are weird. Yeah. But that's what I said. I would say.
I agree with you. I think that is as a lot of related with boundaries. Sometimes when people overtake some boundaries and if you resentment, I usually don't react. I feel anger, but I don't do nothing about it because I want to think about what I want to say. And I think that if I do something with anger, I will probably be mean or something like this. But I also learning, I saw in a documentary of Bene Brown, and it's what related with comparison too, that sometimes we need to choose discomfort over resentment, but because if we don't say something that we want to say to persons that, upset us or something like this, we will feel resentment. But because we don't want to feel discomfort, but I think that feeling discomfortable is better than feeling resentment.
Yeah, totally agree.
So question number 5, if you decided to record on a paper situations or people that make you envious, who or what would you write?
I will
I
pass that. I will pass.
really,
Too
I
personal.
would,
You can answer that.
yeah, I would write about people that wake up early to do exercises and not because like their bodies or
Okay.
their lifestyle, but I love people that are consistently. I have problems being consistent. Because I always try to do something like for 2 or 3 days and then I just give up. And I think that this is really bad. I am trying to have consistency. And this was one
Yeah.
of my goals in this year.
Yeah. I should have fun. I should have chose an answer fun like that. But I was
Yeah.
just
No, there has a lot
wondering.
of things, but I will not say we are all live on YouTube.
Of course.
Don't want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Smart.
Yeah.
So number 6.
Yeah. So number 6. Do you think envy can be both good or bad and bad? Why?
This is a hard question.
Yeah.
It's a really hard question because um it divides opinions, right?
Yeah.
I'd say, in my point of view, that this is the worst feeling that ever could exist because my HC tells me that I see the world in a different way from the majority of people. First, of course, I respect others' point of view, but I believe that in the concept of the original sin, right? So that says that we are naturally bad, and I understand that we are born bad, and not that we learned how to be bad or how to be good. I believe that society increase the amount, the it's not amount, but increase, the if you these feelings, these behaviors, if you are good or bad. But I believe you are originally a bad person. But it's my point of view because I'm a Christian. So I believe that there is not good in us, in ourselves, because we always tend to be evil than the opposite. A good example of that is in the movie called Experiment of the I'm gonna I didn't remember the name of the movie now. I think it's Stanford, Experiment of Stanford. There's a great movie. I think it's on Netflix. That the guys, it's I can't say about the movie now, but you can look for it later. The Experiment of Stanford.
Stanford was an experiment. Is that one? Yeah.
I think it's a clear example, and yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, it got me thinking. I think that we are animals and we try to humanize things. I think that religion has a lot of related to this. You need to do good things. You just need to be a good person, etc. So it's the way that we build our society. But I think that it's not like if we were in nature and we were like wild, like lions or something like this, it's not that we are bad. We are just trying to survive. So
Okay.
yeah. But I agree.
Yeah, but in envy, I would say that there's no good in envy, right? Because I think we agree on that. Because I would say that envy is different than comparison, so it's more, deep. It's more.
I don't know if we don't have if there's no good.
Do you think is there any good on envy?
I think so. I think that a lot of feelings all the feelings can help us with self-awareness. So
Mhm.
the thing is how you react with envy. But if I'm
Okay.
feeling envy, I think that is a bad thing for me. Like when I feeling envy, I think that there has a lot of related with comparison in a bad way, but also if you try to see envy in a good way, we can see the things that we want. We can start
Mhm.
understanding what we want. So if you are feeling envy about other people's job, or not, cannot be related to job, for example, but can be the lifestyle and something like this, we can see that the things that we want and go for it. But it's a hard feeling to feel, I think,
Yeah.
because we
Mhm.
don't try to understand envy. We just think, okay, this is really bad feeling, and why I am feeling this. And but I don't think that is just bad. I think that it can help us to understand the things that we want and starting, go for it.
Mhm.
But your point is really good about we are bad for nature. I need to think more about it, and I will watch the
Yeah, the
documentary.
movie is really good to explain that. Yeah, it doesn't say everything, but what I would say is that we cannot help ourselves, you know? I'm not saying that psychologists, for example, therapy is not good. I like therapy, you know? And I think that you can be helped by others and by yourself. But I would say that if you think deeper, if you go deeper, I think that you cannot, for example, save yourself to your own behaviors sometimes, you know, because you just try and you fail. So you deserve more than that. You it's hard to explain that in English, and we should have more time to talk about that, but I
Yeah.
got about to finish. But I'd say that sometimes you feel like you cannot do, so you need grace. You need someone to say you, okay, you are that way, but it's okay if you are that way. I still love you. I still trust on you. I still, so
Yeah.
that person is Jesus for me. So, everyone has this.
Oh, this blow my mind right now. It's
Yeah,
really
it doesn't, it
important.
doesn't
Yeah, we need
mean,
someone to say that they accept us the way that we are.
yeah, they accept us, exactly. Because
Wow.
if you are always trying to be good, you'll never be, 100% good.
Yeah.
But I believe that Jesus accepted me being, 50% or just 40% good, because, we need someone above, extra us, it's hard to explain that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But yeah, that's a good talk.
Yeah, this
Good
is
talk.
yeah, good point. And about when we feel something, our first reaction, if we react without thinking, we will good at bad. We will do a bad thing.
Hmm.
So we start like exercising ourselves to think before doing something. So if we just react to things, we would do mainly bad things, I think. So we
Yeah.
need to think about something. Yeah, good point. I will think about it a lot this week.
And watch the movie. Hey, the movie is heavy, okay? It's kind of heavy, but you make it.
Yeah, I will do that. I am really curious about the content, so for sure. Um, Seventh, what can these feelings say about us?
Mm, I think it's also related to the human nature.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's it.
we are humans.
Yeah, we are.
Before what you said, I was more like, okay, we are humans and that's okay, we do things. But now I'm thinking, no, we are humans and this is, we are kind of bad persons. And
Yeah. I'm not saying, it's hard because I'm not saying that you cannot find good in other persons, because sometimes I like to watch this Instagram called Epistemia, which is a very mystical Instagram. And as a Christian, if I show that Instagram to someone that is a Christian too, when I say Christian, I'm being really general because there is a lot of,
yeah, people
don't
that believe
don't.
in God, right?
Mhm. So if I show that to another person, they will say, Breno, you are looking to that. This doesn't connect a lot with what you believe. But I can see good things on that. So I think that sometimes you can be wise to choose something that can be useful for you. And when the guy, for example, is sharing in a content that I disagree, I just let it go. I just pass. But I think that people should do that because that would be good for everybody if they open their minds, not just to things that they agree 100%. You remember that phrase, don't judge the book by the cover, right? So I'm open to see different points of view because I believe that can reaffirm that what I already believe, or it can open, new possibilities. So that's it.
Yeah, I think this is good because, for example, I love reading, and when I see a book that is totally different about my reality, that I love book that we have history and characters and those things. So when I see a book that the characters has totally different life, I like reading because I think that it make me have another experience without
Hmm.
need to be me. So it's important to open our minds to new things and not living in a bubble. I don't know if we say bubble in English, but not living in a bubble because, yeah, it's important to understand other people's point of views too.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think it makes us grow as society.
Yeah, that's why I'm really choosy on who I'm going to be close, because you have to to pay attention to someone that you are interacting to and establishing a conversation, especially if you are on social media, because it's hard. You never had time to talk clearly and to understand and to look face to face and to see the expressions and the other ways of languages, because language is not about the word itself but about lots of things.
Yeah, and we see a lot of miscommunication on the internet because the tone of voice is totally different. So if I'm saying
Hmm.
something, you will understand it in the way that you usually understand things, but not in my tone of voice, the tone of voice that I say. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um, 8, I think that we already answered the number 8. I don't know if you want to add something. How to overcome the feelings that come with comparison. It's a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah. I think I answered that question about looking into yourself instead of others, so you can accomplish more goals. Hmm.
Yeah. Besides, we always say about therapy, but besides therapy, what do you think that we can do to learn more about ourselves?
Um, I don't know. It's hard because I would say what I like to do, right? In
Okay.
fact, I like therapy because I know it's good, but I didn't have the experience to have one because when I tried to book a consultant with a psychologist, the guy just go away, and we just have the first meeting, and then I tried to reach him out again, and I didn't, just forget me. He just forget me,
Yeah.
and I was
I
like,
think
man,
it probably would be good if you try to change the person because
yeah, it'll be good, but I know it's good. I know it's good because I like to see some content related to psychology and everything. So I would say that art is important too, because when you are learning, reading, or just seeing some art, it doesn't matter what kind of art, you can see things in a different way. You can sometimes stop to take a breath, because, you know, I think things are changing too fast, and you are always being, um, não sei dizer bombardeado, but with too much content. And I think learning about art is good.
yeah, I agree. I really wanted to be the person that express myself with art, like painting. I think that painting, because it's something visual that you can do everything that you want, so we don't have limits on that. But a way that I do to learn more about myself without I go to therapy, and it's really good because I know I say a lot of things, and I think that because when we say something, we also like we listen ourselves and we learn also with ourselves. We do the
Hmm.
association without needing the therapy most of the times, so it's really good. But something that I do besides therapy, it's writing. I love writing about my feelings, and I'll just write what I am feeling, because it can lead me to a lot of new things for me, and this is really good. And also when I can read the things that I already wrote, yeah, things that I wrote. It's good because I see, I can see the changes, or sometimes I can see that, I was a more,
Yeah, you can
I,
feel different, right? I had the experience to see something that I wrote a long time ago, and then I expressed this small smiling like that. Like it's a good feeling. I think it's nice.
yeah,
I
but
didn't
there
have
has,
much I didn't have much chances to write like that, but I would say that it's
it's,
good.
it's really good. And, having consistency is something that I had consistency on. I have problems with consistency, but this I had consistent on because, well, it really helped me. But there has moments too that I read something that I wrote, and I think, okay, I was so more intelligent in that time, and though I don't know what I am doing in my life. So I think that
Yeah,
we can learn a
be
lot of
careful.
ourselves too.
Yeah, we change, right? But you have to be
Yeah.
careful because it doesn't mean that you are not intelligent anymore. It's just a different phase.
Yeah, I agree. Question number 9. What is the difference between comparison and admiration for you?
Mm, um, I'd say that as admiration is, uh, I'd say that comparison is the counterpart of admiration because it makes you keep, it can makes us keep, keep us from recognizing our own growth because we are so busy looking for something that we didn't have yet.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's it.
I agree with you. And also, uh, we said a lot of things about comparison, and I don't think we can compare ourselves, but we don't need to deal with that. And admiration, it's something when you find someone that inspire us. We don't need to
Mm-hmm.
want to be like this person, but this person inspire us, and like a mentor, and this is really important. See this person and I think, okay, I want something like this, and I want to. You don't want to want the same thing that the person has, but you want to be like this person. The way the
Yeah.
person deals and the way that people react. This person react with
Mm-hmm.
others. It's
Yeah.
really.
For example, I like the Arnold Schwarzenegger, the actor and the bodybuilding. So I like him, but of course I cannot try to be him because it's a totally different situation, right?
Yeah, but it's good when and the feeling of admiration. I think that is always something good. And sometimes you don't want nothing about this person. Like, I don't want to be like this person. I just admire this person and what they do. And yeah, it's a really good feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Question number 10. Is
You know what?
shouting.
Just to finish the that subject, my wife told me this week about an answer that she got from a friend, and she was talking to this friend, and she asked her about who is the person that she admires more, and that friend answered to my wife, "Oh, at first I would admire a lot of famous persons from Pinterest and everything. But now the person that I admire more, that is my main inspiration, is my mom, because I just knew the story of how hard worker she was to build this family, to raise us as human beings. So it was really mind blowing.
Yeah, and we tend to admire people that are famous, but if you look for like in your friend circle, we
Hmm.
can see a lot of people that we admire too, because I think that it's really hard to build a relationship without having admiration. You connect with people without admire them, and I think that this is for me. This is really hard. I need to admire this person, and I don't want to be like them, but I need to admire this person to
Yeah.
create a connection. Okay, so question number 10. This is something new for me. Those two feelings on the question number 10 and 11 show. So Schadenfreude is a nuanced emotion related to feeling pleasure or joy derived from someone else's suffering or misfortune. Do you ever felt something like that? And share with us a situation. You don't, if you don't want to share, it's okay. But yeah,
No,
feel
no, I can
free.
answer it. I think it's different. I would say that yes, especially because when I faced so many episodes of self-esteem, because I strongly believe that Schadenfreude is related to that phenomenon. When someone doesn't accomplish something, for example, or feel like he or she cannot accomplish, something in life, so he or she normally feel pleasure to see others failing. So yeah, and I had some experience with that, but I think that the escape um, I found to that is to think about the fact that everyone has his own struggles, right, in life, differently in differently ways. For example, if someone accomplished a goal in life, doesn't mean that that person is not struggling in life, or it doesn't mean if you that you also cannot, right? Because it's like a phrase that I've heard, especially from the market environment, that they say there is a space for everyone, right? There is a space for everyone to do their job, and I believe that. I believe that everyone has its own story, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this, what you say, it's a lot of related with like a bad envy, and those
Hmm.
feelings are related. But I agree, and I will add something. I think that I feel something like this when someone did something bad for me, and I want them suffering. Like you did something bad, and I didn't deal with that. I didn't say to you, it's for me, it's related to resentment. I know that it can
Okay.
have a lot of feelings, but for me, it's related to
Hmm.
resentment. Like if someone do something bad for me and I didn't do nothing, like I didn't say this person, I just accepted
Okay.
it, did with myself. I want this person suffering. I want this
Yeah.
misfortune. So I think of when it's not that I am desiring this, but if something happens, I feel
You
like
feel good.
at
Yeah,
myself. Yeah, yeah. I
I
know it's
understand.
not a good thing, but
It's a way of to try to put our own justice, right?
yeah, because
And
I was not
that's why
capable
it's
of
so
doing
mind
anything.
blowing to when I talk about original sin, because you normally wants to see the bad, to put your own justice, but the justice of God is different. Sometimes it's to love that person. So it's so crazy for me because sometimes I want to no, but that's not right. But Bible says that the sun goes up for everyone, for the good and for the bad people. So we have to deal with it, right?
Yeah. And it's for me, it's because I was not capable of not doing something. It's not like that I want to fight with this person and push them on
Hmm.
the face, but I didn't solve things when I needed to solve, and then I just feel good. I know that it's not a good thing because I say to myself, okay, Lana, it's not a good thing, but I feel something and I can't deal with the things that I feel, and
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah. And the opposite of this feeling is Freudenfreude, is that is the enjoyment of another's success, a subset of empathy. Do you remember the last time you felt this?
Yes. For example, I think it's like feel good with someone, right? When someone accomplished something in life, right? Uh, I remember a friend from high school that he's a doctor today, and he has just built his own. Um, it's not a hospital, but it's more like his own place of work. So it's like a clinic for X-rays, for example. And I remember commenting on his Instagram, telling him that I'm happy for him because I knew that he deserved that. He worked a lot for accomplish that. So that's an example. But I would say that the opposite is more common sometimes to us as human beings, because it's hard to find someone that feel good and happy to the success of others.
Yeah. And also, for me, it's what you said. I think that when we see the struggles of this person to
Mm-hmm.
achieve what they want, we feel like I am really happy for you because I saw everything that you go through, and now you achieve what you want. So we feel happy for this person. But I agree that the opposite is easier, and
More
it's
common.
more common. And I think that is because and be a positive. We don't need to see the struggle of this person. We don't care about the history of this person and everything that the person go through, but it's just one thing that made us like feel this. But I think that this fraud feeling, I feel a lot with my friends and with my family. My sister got a job recently, my younger sister, and I was really happy for for her. Yeah, I was really happy for her. So yeah.
Good.
Um, And the question number 12, how can we use fraud to create connections?
I would say that when it's more like related to when you have some goals in common with someone. For example, if you are um, doing if you are going to, for example, sports, and you can know more persons. I would say that it's common on LinkedIn, for example, but I think it's a fake fraud and Friday, right? Because on
Yes.
LinkedIn, everybody's saying, "Oh, really nice what he did and everything." But yeah,
Yeah, and we don't
depends.
like we have connections on LinkedIn because the connection is
Hmm.
the name when you connect with someone on LinkedIn, but it's not a real connection. I am not saying that it's bad thing, but it's fake, but it's not a real connection because you are not like you don't have connection with this person. You don't say about your things,
Yeah.
or just say about job and something
Hmm.
like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying in general, right? Of course, there are some people that are really connected on LinkedIn and everything, but I'd say that when sometimes when a person, for example, start a new position on their career, and then persons are like, "Oh, I'm happy for you," and etc. But it's not every time real, It's just making, you know, uh, just commenting.
Because I think that connections are a lot of related with vulnerabilities. When you feel it's what you said on the beginning of this immersion. When you feel comfortable to say things for other person about their feelings and having
Mhm.
conversations. And there has people that say congratulations and you have this connection, and there has people that you don't have. But I think that is the thing with social media, right? We will always be connected with people in a lot of ways. So yeah. But I think that's one way to use certain fraud to create connections. It is about vulnerabilities. We see the struggle of this person, or this person say the struggles that they had with this and the achievements, and you can be happy for them and truly happy, and this is really good.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think we went through all the questions. That's so weird because I think I can't remember one single lesson that I did that we read. We
Well,
I
yeah,
think it's because it's just both of us, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
but
we
it's
have
really
to we
good.
have to.
I really enjoyed this immersion because I think that sometimes it's really hard to find persons that really talk with you instead of just answering the questions. It happens, it usually happens. So yeah, it was really good to
Hey,
share
but
with
I
you.
remember you didn't introduce yourself. I don't know you. I just
Yeah,
know your
I'm
name.
sorry. Okay, so I am Lara. I live in São Paulo. I am 22. I work with 22. Yeah, 22. I work with IT. I am a Python developer and also a data engineer. And I think that's it. I am not married. I have two cats. I live alone, and yeah, I am here on TNT in February. But I think that this is my third emotion on TNT. I started recently as a hostess.
Hmm. Okay, I've been TNT for about um, almost a year, I would
Yeah.
say, because I was before coming. I was trying to improve my English, and then I look into the YouTube, and I just found this random YouTube channel from a girl that she speaks English really good, and I was impressed. And then she talked about the talk and talk. I'm not sure if talk and talk was a tool for her to improve her English. Probably not. But as she was, inviting others to meet talk and talk to join the community, so I was really excited to do that, and it was a good experience as well because italki was really expensive at the time. I used to, got I used to get some immersions in italki and other platforms, but it's all in dollars, so it's expensive for me at the
Yeah.
time.
For me, TNT really improved my English because I started on TNT because I started working in a company that has a lot of international projects, and I was not like comfortable to
Hmm.
talking to. I was not secure about it, and TNT really helped me with that. So I know that
But
for my English, TNT really did a change.
but do you work like home office or in a
Yeah,
company? Home
yeah.
office?
But it's not
Okay.
it's not like I work in international project, but I still work in um, CLT model, because
Mm-hmm.
my company
Mm-hmm.
also is also in Brazil.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Don't you have this idea of living abroad someday?
I want to, but I don't know if I want to do this right now, maybe in some years, I think. I think that
Hmm.
I need to be more comfortable in what I do and understand that I am learning a lot in the company that I am right now. And I think that if I change this, I can miss a lot of things. So I want to have more experience and then go abroad because to feel comfortable in whatever company that I would do, I would be.
Yeah. Let me ask you a last question about your job. I'm just curious. Don't you think that IT is becoming a profession, a job that in few years or few months, we're gonna have a lot of persons that do this job, and maybe it's gonna prostitute the profession or something like that? Because I had this, feeling that every it's a really good field, right? I know that, but sometimes I think that everybody's it's doing the same. Like, I'm not doing the same, but trying to, you know, through this path to going through this path.
I know you say like engineering, like everyone was engineering and then we
Oh,
have
so you do engineer.
no,
Oh,
I work with IT, but
okay.
it's the same that happened with engineering that
Okay.
people engineers,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
The same
I
with
think
photography, for example, that everybody says
yeah,
that they are photographer, but they didn't have, the experience. They just, you know.
yeah. But I think that is I think different. I think that with IT, we will have like all the professionals will in some moment learn how to program because we need people in a lot of fields. You can program if you are a doctor, you can program to create a solution for your business, or if you are a photographer, you can program
Mm-hmm,
to create
mm-hmm.
a solution for your business. So I think that in the future we will not have this lack of opportunities, but we will have more opportunities and more people working on this. So you can be a doctor and also program, and I think that is
I
okay.
understand.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's
that,
interesting.
yeah, I think this way. I think that we have a lot of people in starting on IT right now, but I think that this is a good thing. We
Mm-hmm.
can have more solutions in people from different fields. For me, for example, I
Yeah.
am graduated in marketing, but I always worked with IT, and I have um, this knowledge with like product and those things, and I think that this is something really good for me. And I really wish that people for more areas start working with this because we have more creative products, different
Yeah,
products.
exactly. We'll have different perspectives, right? For
Yeah,
example, the person from the medical field will see IT in a different way related to their field, something like that. They will mix the needs.
yeah.
So maybe,
Because sometimes it's
yeah.
hard when you are IT professional and you don't have any knowledge about some field, and it's really hard to do those things. And
Hmm.
if you have anything in one person, it's better. So I sent to you the survey. I know that will not be, uh, anonymous, but I really wish that you could give some feedback, and if you want to suggest something, some topic or anything, feel
Okay,
free. Okay,
no
thank you a
problem.
lot for this conversation, Breno.
Thank
Great
you.
day.